It's Bailey Renee, and I'm back with another tutorial. This video is going to be all about the eyebrows. I've been getting a couple of requests about how I do my eyebrows, so I'm going to show you how I tweeze, trim, and fill them in from start to finish. Okay, first you're going to need some tweezers, you're going to need scissors, and you're most definitely going to need a spoolie, or what I call a mascara wand. You want to take your mascara wand and you want to make sure that you shape your eyebrows with it. You want to brush them up and out. It is easier to know which hairs you should pluck when all of your hairs are going in the right direction. Every face and eye shape is going to have a different eyebrow shape that flatters it. So at the bottom in the description, I'm going to make sure I put a chart up. Now we're going to pluck a line all the way from the very front of the eyebrow all the way to the very tail. When you're plucking your hairs, you want to make sure you pluck it in the direction that the hair grows. Now I'm going to start at the top of my eyebrows. I have a little bit of hair up there and I like a very smooth line. All the hairs that you've plucked so far is just creating your shape. So there's nothing wrong with going back and using your spoolie to reposition your hairs. From this point on, it was mostly cleanup. So what you want to do is find all of the little fine hairs and pluck those out. That's going to make your eyebrows look even sharper and give you even more of a defined arch. Now usually when I do my eyebrows, I pluck them in the mirror so I can get really close up on the mirror. You'll start seeing hairs that are going to start poking up out of nowhere, especially when you get a nice clean line. There's nothing wrong with plucking those, but you want to make sure that before you pluck those that they're not in the line that you've just created. Once again, can't stress it enough. Go back and clean up, clean up, clean up, clean up. Get really close into that mirror so you can see what type of straight line you have going on. Okay, so now it's time to trim. I have a little bit of spiky hair in the very front of my eyebrows, as you can see. So what I like to do is use my spoolie. I make sure I brush them upwards, and while they're still standing, I take my little scissors and I clip them off. You want to go up against the line that you've created on your eyebrows. Okay, y'all, can y'all see the difference? Now you're just going to do the exact same thing on the other eyebrow. Now the next step is to fill them in. When you're doing your makeup and you put a full face of foundation, whether you're contouring, whatever you're doing, you want to make sure you fill in your eyebrows. You can do it as light as you want, you can do it as heavy as you want. Me personally, I like to start underneath my brow, right where I created that very first line. So you're going to go up against the line with your eyeshadow or with your pencil. Me personally, I'm using Espresso from MAC, and I'm using a small angle brush, which is the E65 from Sigma Beauty. Now I want you to keep your eye on how I'm using this brush. I'm going up against both lines that I've created, but at the same time I'm using the brush and the powder and I'm pushing the hairs upward. That's going to make your eyebrows look even more natural when you go with your hair. Now when you get to the front of your eyebrows, don't use so much powder, just use a little bit, not as much as you would use on the tail. Create a line in the very front and just push it upward, but don't put any powder on the upper line of your front eyebrow. Sometimes I decide to create a line in the very front part of my eyebrow and sometimes I don't. This time I decided to go ahead and fill it all the way in just so you can see what the effects could be. Now it's time to conceal around your eyebrows. Me personally, I only do the bottom half. You can use whatever concealer you want to use. This time I'm going to use Pro Longwear, but I'm only using this as an example of what you should do. If you want your eyebrows to look more natural, only conceal the bottom half. If you're looking for a more dramatic look, more carved out look, you can do the top half of your eyebrow as well. The brush that I'm using is a concealer brush by MAC. It's the 135. It has a very pointy top. I like using this to carve out my eyebrows.